The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
All right, everybody, welcome to the webinar today. I know my name shows Dustin Johnson. This is actually Jacob Locke, Director of Marketing here over at ORG. Appreciate everybody hopping on. I know everybody's schedules this time of year is plenty busy. You guys know how I am with these webinars. I want it to be more interactive than just me talking for say 30 minutes at a time. When you have questions, ask questions. We've had this Integrity for Life concept for a bit now. I wanted to come at it from a different perspective on why you actually need to utilize it. Where are the angles you can play within your practice? How can it actually be a profitable system for you? The platform is free, but when you take into consideration the time you're putting behind it, the effort you're putting behind it, how can I actually utilize it? So we'll go over different factors, such as, where and how to market it, the basics of the platform. And lastly, some staggering statistics of, people consuming and buying life insurance completely online, which is actually pretty surprising. So we'll get into it here. Um, for this first slide is pretty easy. Why do you need a instant decision platform, like Integrity for Life? Why do you need an Integrity for Life? Why do you need an Ethos? Why do you need a Bestow? A couple main points. Clients are buying life insurance online quicker than ever. And that's not only to say, doing an e-app or anything like that, but them actually going through, clicking a link and buying it completely passively themselves. My dad bought a $500,000 policy through I think Mass Mutual's instant decision platform. It's like Haven Life. So of course, before I got licensed and everything, but that just goes to show he's 50 and he somehow navigated and bought insurance by himself online, which is a good story to have. If you have one of these platforms that helps increase, say, your brand image, because you're being proactive with marketing on the different social channels, people understand your brand, they understand what you're doing. And this is an easy way to attract new clients. I always tell people the easiest product and easiest concept, in my opinion, to get new clients through the door and actually not literally, but to start that interaction with them is an easy term conversation and how you can do it online. Say, you get 5 or 10 clients after doing a campaign because, the marketing behind the platform and what easy affordable term life insurance can do. It opens the door to the annuity conversations, the long-term care conversations, the DI, other lines of business outside of insurance. It's an easy way to get new clients and keep them sticky with you without having, say, a difficult process at the same time. And the last point is, you have produced additional life insurance sales passively. We all know this. You guys have heard me talk about this a million times. Market this on social media, send it to any request for term. They can go through, they can quote, apply, put a policy, enforce all themselves. We had an agent out west just earlier today. I got an email from him. It was like, hey man, do you know what this is? And somebody went through and they clicked his link from Facebook. They went through and the client got put in force, which is stories we hear all the time, which is nice. But then once we swing over here, the different angles to play. Obviously, I'm beating a dead horse. You guys have heard me talk about this: social media marketing, email, website, client, and being in a client meeting. If you're doing any of these 4 things, you're doing the right thing because you're getting your brand out there. You're marketing your practice, which just helps drum up new business. Like I said, if you're doing a campaign on social media and you're talking about term insurance, you're going to get questions about any other of the product lines that you do. For instance, I was marketing my link on TikTok, and I got a comment saying, "Hey, do you offer IULs?" And I said, "Of course I do," and that drummed up a new client for me. So it's just easy. It's easy stuff like that. Whereas without a link or a platform like this to be able to market, you don't have those conversations in that way. At least when it comes to bringing new clients on board, um, which I can appreciate. If you go over here, this consumer stats, um, you can see here, millennials and Gen Z account for 70% of passive online life insurance purchases. I mean, that's a crazy story. I mentioned in one of the previous webinars that we do that it feels like anybody under 45, they don't even want to talk to you over the phone about life insurance. They want a text, they want an email, and they want to do it themselves. This platform does exactly that. And if you're able to target these individuals, you'll definitely see your return of the effort that you're putting in. The digital channel for purchasing life insurance witnessed a 65% year over year growth. I promise this number is only going to go up. I mean, by the time it's 2030, I can't even tell you how big of an importance of having something like this within your practice is going to be. It is right now, but imagine in 10 years down the road what it's going to look like. 45% of online life insurance transactions were conducted through mobile devices. Once again, this is huge. I mean, this number is only going to get bigger as well. I mean, my dad literally bought his life insurance policy passively from the agent's perspective on our couch up at the lake, and it's just crazy. I mean, everybody's on there, and these stats are really important, especially if you want to go for the paid for advertising route. You're going to want to target the millennials and the Gen Z. The premiums may not be as high, say, as dealing with a 50, 60, or 70-year-old. However, the investment behind it makes sense because these are the people that are actually looking to do something like this. And we'll talk about this a little later. But we'll continue here. Once again, this is my process, and I've harped on this one too many times. Number one is to generate the lead. Once you get that lead, you contact them. Once you contact them, you find the number. So if say the guy's name is Ryan, and say, hey, Ryan, knows you're looking for some information on some term life insurance. Did you have an idea of what coverage amount would be suitable to you? They're going to give you a number. They'll be like, are you sure about that? How about we go through a quick needs analysis? You go through the needs analysis, you get an upsell, you find somewhere in between, and then through the platform, you ask them 4 simple questions. Hey, what's your height and weight? What's the last 4 of your social? What current address are you at? And do you currently work? Once you answer those, it's easy. You submit it over to the carrier. And then at that point, the client will get an email to actually fill out the entire application. And past that, you just sit there and play almost like quarterback. You come in when they need you, and that's the easiest way to do it. Especially with this platform, the efficiency behind it just makes sense. It's easier for you as the producer to where if you have these term cases going through, say quicker than anything below a week, a week and a half for these term cases, it makes sense for your practice to where you can focus on the higher ticket IUL, higher ticket annuity sales, to where you have that healthy balance of term flow while working on those bigger cases. And I'm trying to be quick with this. I want to open it up to discussions. A lot of you guys know this stuff. You just have questions on, how to actually implement some of these strategies. The platform's backed by some of the best carriers in the industry. We have Banner, SBLI, Assurity, and then our mortgage and income protection product with Western and Southern. We've been seeing a lot of traction with this Western and Southern product for the mortgage protection plays, the income protection plays, and it works out for the client because the client will tie it to their mortgage, and as time goes on, this product's a decreasing term, so the consumer does save 20 to 40% less, say, than the typical level term that they deal with. So we've been getting a lot of traction with this product, and I definitely encourage you to at least test it out. I mean, it's one of those true instant decision, yes or no. If you're approved, it's a yes, and if you're not, shop out one of these other 3 carriers, which is pretty fun. And then how do you sign up? Integrity4Life.com. You contact me, scan the QR code, any one of these options. And I just recommend to give it a shot. Send it out to your existing book of business saying, hey, thank you for the business that you've done with me in the past. If you're looking for term life insurance or additional term life insurance, click this link, apply all yourselves. It's pretty easy. So you guys know how I get with these webinars. I'm going to start opening it up to questions. Let's make this interactive and figure out, what stumbling blocks are you facing when it comes to this, and we'll figure it out. So let me go here real quick. All right, let's get some questions going. All right. Give it a second for these to roll in, and we'll get after it. All right. It says, when marketing the platform, what are some of the social media channels you've seen work? That's a great question. I addressed this in a webinar a few weeks back. I would say right now I've been seeing Google and TikTok work best when it comes to life insurance and the platform. With Facebook, you get a lot of bad numbers, bad context. So I'd probably say Facebook or, I mean, sorry, not Facebook, Google or TikTok. Another question is, how do we get started with the platform? It's pretty easy. You go, let me pull the screen back up. You can go integrity4life.com. You can email me, or you can scan the QR code. You can sign up, customize the link, do whatever you want to it. Pretty easy. Another question here. Do you have any preference on carriers within the platform? I really like Banner through the platform just for the cost sake for the consumer. And their processing times really haven't been all that bad either. Another question here. What's a general rule of thumb when you're putting money towards ad campaigns? I mean, that's a good question. I try to keep my cost per lead anywhere from 10 to 20 bucks. That way it's not outrageous. And say, lead cost, you know, 10 bucks, you want 100 leads, it's $1,000. I mean, the likelihood of you being able to close 5 or 6 clients out of 100 with that ratio is pretty good. Continue with any questions you have here. How do I get Integrity for Life put on my website? It just depends on who your website developer is, who you have, or what software you use for that. You should just be able to create a new page and hyperlink that into there. Maybe add a few bullet points on the value proposition of having a platform like this. Should be pretty easy. And if you need any help with that, feel free to reach out to me. Any other questions? Let's see. Looks like we have another one here. What are the approval rates been like on the platform recently? That's a good question. I mean, as far as denies go, we obviously see the most denies with a carrier like Assurity or SBLI, just because those are the true instant decision. It's not necessarily to say they can't get coverage. It's just they can't get an instant offer. But as far as like a banner goes, I mean, they've been really good. I mean, I haven't had too many problems getting the clients fully underwritten or getting them an instant offer as of late. See anything else? Yeah, please keep saying questions, guys. I mean, this is the main point of this webinar we just had. I know it's a relatively quick presentation. You guys understand the value proposition of the platform. I just want to give any clarity or help any way I can. I mean, be a resource to you, man. Do you have any tips on email marketing for the platform? I mean, this is just a general rule of thumb for any email marketing, and it's to keep it simple, keep the messaging simple, understand what they'll do if they click on this link, the benefits of doing term life insurance that way. And when you do that, I mean, we've had pretty good success rate with that. All right. Yeah, please bring on the questions. These are good. Are the products on the platform convertible? With the Surety, Western, and Southern SBLI, they're not, since it's, like I said, it's those true instant decision products. But with Banner, it's their regular product. You can convert that to the offerings they give. Anybody have any questions on actually like implementing this into their say distribution for 2024? Like any of those like nitty gritty questions that, if you could get it solved, you'd blast it out tomorrow and get applications put through, because that's what I'm trying to get at least for some of our bigger groups we're working with. There's some say stepping blocks that say a regular independent agent would come across. I just want to answer those to really help you guys out. I mean, we love the platform. It's just making sure you guys are fully aware of the capabilities and what you can do with it. We have a couple more questions here. One of them says, "Have you got any bounce backs from the knockout questions?" That's another great question. No, I mean everything. Anytime I have a client go through there, um, if it's all no's, they put all no, and if they have a question, they'll email or text, call, and get further advice on how to answer the question. So no problems there. Another question, do you work with any lead gen companies to get traffic to the platform? Yeah, I mean, I've had a few conversations with some lead companies on advertising the link, bringing traffic to it, generating leads. I haven't necessarily pulled the trigger. I am in talks with it, and it sounds like an attractive option, especially if it's a do it for you marketing setup. I mean, it works out pretty well. I haven't pulled the trigger yet myself. Another question here, what do you see as the future as Integrity for Life evolves? That's a great question. I mean, it sounds cliche, but I would say we're just getting started with it. I've mentioned a few times that we want to add some big name carriers on here. I'll name drop them. We're working on getting Protective, John Hancock, carriers like that on the platform with really good convertibility options, just stuff like that to give the consumer more choices to choose from and more attractive options for you as the producer as well. So I'd say that maybe exploring a final expense tool within the platform as well, just being creative with it. Because like I said, once you open the consumer's eyes to being able to buy your product that you're offering through something like this that's so easy, it's only good news for you because then you can not sell them, but you can provide them annuities, LTC, DI, really whatever you're doing. So if we can make this as attractive as possible for the consumer to have the journey they want, it only works out. It works out even better for you as the agent because it makes them stickier, which I really like. Another question here? Do you see the permanent products as a piece of the platform? Yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be a game changer within the industry. With John Hancock, we're going to try and add one of their permanent products onto the platform, and I think that'll really make us stand out. As far as I'm aware, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, there's no other platform or tool as far as instant decision goes, client facing goes, that offers a permanent product. I think that's going to be a huge splash, and yes, I think we will be able to implement that. All right, it looks like we have two or three more questions. I'll wrap it up. Like I said, I just wanted this to be interactive. Go through why you need to utilize the platform. The agents and groups that are using the platform are seeing success with it. And like I said, it's just a matter of answering the questions that you guys have, taking that further step. Another question here, do you guys see products like long-term care, disability income, and annuities coming on the platform? I mean, sure, we've had discussions if that'd be possible. I say they're going to be implemented anytime soon. I would say no. To me, those seem like very difficult products as far as an instant decision goes with those. However, I've always brought up the idea of having a client facing drop ticket option for the consumers to where if they want an annuity, they can select that product, they can put their info in and get the process started. But as far as instant decision goes, I'd probably say no. Okay, we'll keep this going for a second. If you have any last questions, please let me know. If you're wanting to sign up, information's on the screen right here. What is compensation like on the platform? Yeah, that's a great question. I don't know off the top of my head. It varies from each carrier, but I'll make sure I get that Excel sheet over to you after this call. What's contracting like on the platform? Contracting super easy. We just get you over to our contracting team here at ORG. They'll take care of you and get you set up. Pretty nice. Who is the main point of contact for this platform at org? Well, that's a great question. It'd be yours truly here. So if you have any questions with me, you can email me here. If you have any questions about a client or different situations, marketing ideas, you can 100% reach out to me. Okay, we'll give it a few more seconds here. Once again, I appreciate your guys' time. I love the interaction here, the answer any questions. Let's see here. What's the average case size through Integrity for Life? That's another great question. I mean, I don't have the data in front of me, but it feels like it's typically anything north of 800. I mean, we see big cases like 10, 15. Then we see small cases 200, 300. So it depends. I would say general rule of thumbs to hover around that $1,000 price point, which is nice because I always tell producers whether if it's a $500 case or $5,000 case, it's passive to you. It's either been submitted or been put in force. Effort behind on your end is very little, which is nice. And then we'll wrap it up with this last question: is how customizable is the platform? Another good question. So you can actually, once you make your link, or if I make your link, you can go in, you can change your colors, your bullet points, your image, logo. You can really change the whole 9 yards. You can select what features of the platform you want to show when the consumer is going through. It's pretty robust in that sense, to where you don't see org branding's completely to you, which is nice. Oh, all right. It looks like we have a funny comment for our last one. It says, "Why does your hair look similar to Tony Wilson?" That's a good question. I've had the haircut before I even knew Tony. I think the person that asked this might be a little jealous. It looks like we have one last one. It says here, oh, I lost it for a second. What are the approval rates with Banner? Like I said, Banner's been really good to us recently. Tony told me, I might be butchering this, but it's around 30% of consumers that go through do get that instant decision. Then it's about 50%, say 40, 50%, where it takes 2, 3, maybe 4 days to get put in force, and then the additional are fully underwritten, which is good. I mean, we like Banner a lot. All right, I'll round it out here. I mean, that's all I have. Any last comments or concerns, please drop them. But I appreciate you guys hopping on here. This was Integrity for Life month. We had a really fun month marketing this platform. The different social media strategies. The platform as a whole, different ways to find the angle with the platform. I want to next month at some point do a webinar over, say, how to set up a TikTok ad or how to set up a Google ad, stuff like that, to where you can see what I'm doing, you can implement it yourself and see how it goes. So looks like I'll drop off. I appreciate everybody hopping on here. Hope you have a great rest of your week. Look forward to the webinars that are coming up next month. And as always, we appreciate the business, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks.